Welcome everyone, this is Howlak again, and in today's tutorial session I'll be continuing our discussion uh, about Java arrays. Okay, so in the previous tutorial, we just talked about, I discussed declaration and creating a new array object. Okay, so I'm going to change this example a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is that, okay, let's just get rid of this comment here. All right. So instead of creating the array like this, I'm actually going to initialize it on one shot. Okay, so if you recall, in our last tutorial, all the values were initialized to 0. Okay, we don't really have to do that. We can actually um, initialize the array as using curly braces. Okay, so I'm just going to initialize like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, let's just make it 10. Okay, so close it and then okay. All right. Notice that this is again I chose. You notice that the flexibility of using the array's public member length. Okay, so I could initialize this to any length, right? Reasonable length, anyways. And the reason I say reasonable length is as long as there's enough heap memory. Okay. And so doing that, we don't have to count each time and plug in an actual constant number like a magic number. Okay. And so I'm just gonna get rid of that, make it more readable. Okay, so this is an initializing array. I can just print it out again, but we're gonna do something a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna total up this array. Okay. So why don't we get started on that? So I'm going to do total. I'm going to use that the short form, the unary add. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put here. Now let's just do something else and just this is something silly. I'm just going to multiply by 2 for each value and then add to the total. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So here, now notice that I'm actually adding it to the total, but it's actually not overwriting anything in the array. Right? If we want to do that, we'll have to actually do overwrite the array first, and then add it to the total. You can always do that after, but for now I'll just do this. Right? So let's try running that. I should at least print out the total, right? Okay. So total is total. So just to make sure it's readable, I'm just going to make sure that's there. So okay. So now I can run it. Okay, so it just doubles it. All right. So this is, of course, the last one is 20. And the total is 120. Okay, so that's what we have now. Now we actually want to. This is the value that I actually print out. Okay, if we actually say print out again, all right, you'll notice that the value hasn't changed. All right, so I'm just gonna print that out. Make sure that we have an extra line so it's readable. Okay, so I'm just running it, demonstrate that it hasn't changed yet. Right, so it's still the same value, right? Same value. So if we actually want to change it, we will have to do something a little bit different here. Okay, so for each one, okay, so I can actually do this again. All right, so I can do this and say 2. All right, and now I'm actually going to, so I won't need this parentheses added. Okay, and we actually do that. So now I'm actually printing it out. And it should change. All right, so now you see that it actually changed, right? In the previous, before I did the change, I was actually only multiplying what's in the index, right? So each element by 2, and then summing it, adding it to the total. And then when I print it out, I had to do the multiplication by 2. But here, I am actually changing the element itself. Right? So when I print it out, you notice that I'm just referring it to it. Right? I'm not multiplying it by 2, and the value is changed. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.